Yo, what is going on, guys? Crypto Vibes here, bringing you guys another video. Today, been doing something a little bit different than usual, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's my favorite Pokemon from each type. A lot of people have been doing this right now. I just saw that PokeMD, he just posted his, so kind of reminded me about this challenge. Not really a challenge, but kind of reminded me about this thing, so I just wanted to post it, get it up, because I did want to share, I guess, so. I kind of, like, if you guys can see on the pictures, I do have a couple Megas. That does mean they're Mega and regular form. But yeah, basically just gonna go over like the Mons, like when I started liking them, when they grew upon me, just like competitively and just like playing through the games wise, just like even Pokemon cards and stuff, I guess. But anyways, we'll go ahead and start and get into it. My favorite grass type is, as you can see, Venusaur. Venusaur is actually my favorite starter out of any game, so that's one of my favorite things about Venusaur. Mega Venusaur, I love it competitively. I think it's really, really good. We function around like any team, any like type of team, I think, and just the typing compared to a thick fast is amazing for competitive. But mainly just the fact that, and like especially first generation, like I loved it because like you go through the beginning of the game without worrying have to get poisoned and all that, or like Charmander and Squirtle, you'd always get poisoned going through. I can't even remember the forest, guys. I'm sorry, the first forest you go through, but that's mainly why I like Venusaur. Venusaur is just a beast, man, as well as Bulbasaur and Ivysaur. Love those mons. Now, get into my next mon. Is Mega Houndoom. I mainly consider Mega Houndoom over Houndoom, just because like the design in general is one of my favorites, like all time, like Pokemon wise. And I drafted this in one of my draft leagues a while ago, but it was nasty, man. You pair this thing with Sun, like it does so much damage. Like there's not really a switch in. Like I mean, obviously, hear people say that there's obviously switch ins, but it's hard to find one. So Mega Houndoom in general is just a monster. Regular Houndoom is good too. And don't sleep on Houndour. Don't sleep on Houndour, man. To put in the work. But yeah, that's Mega Houndoom. Anyways, my water type coming in. We do have a Azumarill. Now, ever since the Azumarill just came out, I've loved it. So even before it had the fairy type and like before I knew about huge power and stuff, even before I got into competitive, I still love this mon. Just because it's designed, it's a cute little guy. Can definitely put in work. I've used it in Nuzlocke before and I really like it there. Yeah, obviously competitive, it's really fun to use as a sweeper, like in game, or just set up sweeper and just destroy your opponent if they don't have anything prepared for it. So Azumarill's really nice for that reason. Like it a lot. Now, getting into my normal type, I had to think about it for a little bit. I had a lot of, I guess I should mention like honorable mentions. So like for grass type, I guess I was thinking Ferrothorn for a little bit. Fire type, I didn't really have an honorable mention that I can think of off the top of my head. But then like water type, instead of the Azumarill slot, I thought about Suicune. Suicune I do like a lot. As you can see in this, I do have a couple legendaries, so do not mind putting them in there. But anyways, coming to my normal slot, didn't really know exactly what I would put here. I was stuck between like Porygon 2 and Z because I like them both a lot. Decided to go with 2 because once again I've used it in giraffe leagues. I think it's monster there. I think it's a really cool design, honestly. Like just from the picture right here, I think the color scheme is really nice as well. And it's so good. It's so fat. It's so good in that way. So I mean, I don't know. It's just an awesome normal type mon. Nothing really too much to say about it for me, at least. Not really have any like specific moments where I've used it like let's plays or anything, but I just like it a lot. Anyways, coming to my next mon in electric typing. If you guys know me, you know this is my favorite mon. That is regular Ampharos, not Mega. Mega Ampharos is dope. Don't get me wrong, but regular Ampharos is where it's at. Liked regular Ampharos since the second gen. That's always been a mon I've picked up in I don't remember the Route 06 maybe, Route 6 underneath Violet City. But anyways, yeah, this mon is just like I love using it. It's honestly not a great mon, but I just like it a lot. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. I've never used Ampharos in like Leaf format or anything. I've used him in like NU and stuff and like the ladder, but definitely not one of the greatest mons. But definitely just have those memories of using it all the time through Let's Plays and stuff. And I've even used it through like I didn't post this on YouTube or anything, but played a solo run and I just used Ampharos and literally put in the work. So that was how with Ampharos. Just always liked it. Now, coming into my next mon, this is my favorite psychic type, and that's Reuniclus. Now, the design, I love the design. It's just the huge glob of jelly, just all happy jumping around there. Anyways, especially, like, I have a fetish for some reason of drawing Reuniclus. I don't know why. I sit there and draw Reuniclus if I'm bored, but it's like one of my favorite mons just for like the design personally. And competitively, like once again, it's just a monster. Like all these mons so far, besides Ampharos, are pretty nice competitively. And in draft league format, it can function so well. And like being a setup sweeper as well, or a trick room user. So You have to be wary of that. This monster has so much coverage as well, reliable recovery, and just recovers. So, Mon's just too good, dude. Now, get into my fighting type. This was a little difficult, I guess. Not really, because Heracross was just mainly the thing sticking out to me. Once again, I have used it in League. That's another reason I like it a lot. But just for the sheer fact, I've always just liked it since it came out. The design's been really cool. One honorable mention I will mention that I wanted to mention in my, well, I guess it's not really it's a bug, so I haven't gotten into bug yet. But Bug and Steel was a Scizor / Mega Scizor. It's just a really good mon. When he was talking about my Heracross a little bit more, I just really like Heracross. Never really used it in Let's Plays. Mainly just been the drop leagues like I was talking about. But in my opinion, it's just a super solid mon. It's got great abilities being Guts and Moxie and such, so it's really solid there. Now, getting into my rock type, had to go with this monster, Tyranitar. Tyranitar is just overall solid competitively, obviously, once again. It's just something you saw in second generation, and we're like, holy crap, I want to get this thing. But you're always having to get Larvitar or Pupitar. Either way, I think you could get Larvitar, but I was always catching Pupitars and having to wait till I get to level 50 freaking 5, so that sucked. But like I got used to getting Tyranitar after a while because I did play through the second generation games the most. They are my favorite, I would say. It's close between second and fourth, so I could make a video on that sometime talking about the generations. That'd be a cool idea. Anyways, coming into my ground type, this is a ground / electric, so my second electric type on the list basically, and that Pokemon is Stunfisk. Stunfisk, once again, I have used it in draft leagues. I've actually used it in 2 different draft leagues. I love the mon so much. It's always one of the last picks for me, and I don't mind that at all. If it's sitting there, but a lot of people sleep on it, I know what it can do. It can just do very solid what it does. Ground and electric typing, it's pretty solid. It's got a couple decent weaknesses, so something you always have to watch out for. But being one of the biggest things I like about it is it's resist to flying types, and flying types in format are just disgusting. Like if you can have a resist to those, that is very nice. And just a ground type in general, so obviously it can eat electric moves, and it doesn't like water and like ice and ground moves, but you can work around that. Other than that, Stunfisk never really used it in like Let's Plays or anything. I just really like it in draft league, and the design, like, how can you not like it, man? Call it Flapjack in the leagues, man. That's what you gotta name it, Flapjack. Anyways, coming into my favorite legendary, this is Lugia, my flying type. So Lugia, once again, is something I really am nostalgic about ever since second generation. A lot of these mons in here you probably know as our second generation. Well, they're spread out pretty good, I guess. Decent amount are second, but Lugia, like Lugia a lot. Always like the fact where you have to get it in second generation, either if I'm playing through Silver, Gold, Crystal, or Hard Gold, Soul Silver. It's just really fun going through the caves, the World Caves, looking for it. Back when I was younger, of course. Now it's like super easy with YouTube and all that, but yeah. Lugia overall is just a monster. It's one of my favorites, just like designs again. Once again, that and Mega Houndoom are probably 2 of my favorite like Pokemon designs overall. They just look really nice, and I thought Lugia is just a really solid mon, and that's why it's there. And coming to my favorite bug type, this is something that grew upon me pretty recently. This is Durant. Like, once again, I have it in a draft league. It's in a doubles draft league actually, but this thing, let me tell you, this thing is nasty. And where I haven't played doubles much, and I'm playing against a lot of people that have played doubles, they like sitting there like making fun of me for picking Durant, but our week 1 matchup, it's like a team. It's a multi-battle league, so me and my teammate Durant put in some work, man. Durant put in some work. Granted, we lost week 2. Didn't bring Durant, that's probably why. But Durant's just a monster overall. I like them on a lot. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Durant. It's got good stats. It's a cool little ant. Metal ant, I guess. Coming to my favorite poison type anyways, we have Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen overall, what can I say about it? It's the better of the Nidos, in my opinion, all around. Like, most people can probably agree with me on that. Nidoqueen's bulkier. It gets the same coverage. It's a little slower, obviously. Sheer Force Live Orb, it's going to be hitting about the same anyways. And just the axis between T-Spikes and rocks. Obviously just make it great. It's a good mon. It's got a cool design. I will say Nidoking probably looks a little cooler. Nidoqueen's awesome though. Like Nidoqueen just for the nostalgic reasons again. I never really used it too much through Let's Plays or anything. But once again, like draft leagues and stuff really draw a lot of these mons toward me, because like you guys know, draft league, like anything draft league right now, just in love with. So that's that with Nidoqueen. Now coming into my favorite dark type, that is Krookodile. Krookodile I had to throw on here. This is another what was it? Oh, never mind. This, not yet. I'll talk about it here in a little bit, but Crocodile, ever since 5th generation came out, used it through my Let's Plays. I've played through 5th generation a good amount too, and every time I picked up Crocodile, or I guess Sandile at that point, and named it, his nickname is Shades. If you guys ever watched, I think it's Purple Roger, he called his Crocodile Shades before I even knew that, so I thought that was always pretty cool. It's pretty, like, obviously that's pretty obvious nickname. It's not really like a great nickname, but it was just cool at the time. All then, I played it when I was like, I guess 14, so I wasn't really the greatest with my nicknames yet. Wasn't the most brightest kid, the most brightest. Like, there you go. I'm not the brightest, but I just like Crocodile for his design. Personally, he's a fat alligator, man. Stands on 2 legs. Look at him. Just look at him. Competitively, he's really nice. Obviously, Intimidate plus Moxie, really good. Never used him in a format personally. Had a chance to grab him in a draft league, and I picked up Mamoswine instead. That's the other one I want to get into here in a little bit, but Crocodile overall, solid mon, great design, and I love it a lot. Shades, my boy. Anyways, coming into my favorite ghost. This wasn't really hard for me because ghost typing, like, I like ghost types, but there wasn't really anything else that stood out towards me as much as Gengar. I like Mimikyu, but Gengar is definitely my favorite ghost type. Just being that it's, again, nostalgic in 1st generation. I've always thought it was really cool in 1st gen. I always thought Haunter was really creepy, but then you get to Gengar, it just looks completely badass. Just the mon's super good competitive once again. Obviously doesn't have Levitate anymore in the 7th generation, but that doesn't really like cripple it that much. Like, it's fast, it can hit hard, it forces switches. Like, you're not gonna have much opportunities to throw off ground moves against it unless you're like a Choice Scarf Pokemon or something, because this thing just has nice 110 base speed. Was I believe 130 special attack, but or maybe 110, I don't know. But Gengar just hits like a truck. It's a monster. It's really cool, nostalgic for me. So that is that. Now, going into my next one, Night Ice type. You guys are probably like, what the hell is that there, Crypto? That is a Spheal. If you guys don't know what Spheal is a behemoth, a monster, a god. Anyways, this was through my first Nuzlocke, or first randomized Nuzlocke I've ever, not randomized, yeah, it was a randomized Nuzlocke. Nuzlocke, randomized, I don't even know what I'm talking about. It was a Nuzlocke, well, Nuzlink, that's what I was saying, it's a Nuzlocke. It's a randomized Nuzlocke, but Spheal, my very first one, I got Spheal as my starter, and for some reason, every time I wanted to catch something else, I always killed it, or I don't know, it scared me and I had to kill it. But I had Spheal until about the 3rd gym by itself, and the amount of times this thing lived on 1 HP was ridiculous. His nickname was Owen, by the way, so Owen the Spheal. And by the way, I said I was at the 3rd gym as Steel as Spheal. Like I said, the amount of times it lived on 1 HP made me want to keep it as Spheal. Like, I completed that Nuzlocke with a Spheal. Granted, I did have a rest of my team by then, and Spheal didn't do much when it came time to the Victory Road and all the Elite Four and stuff. But it made it through the whole way through. That's pretty hard to believe, and it was a Spheal. So that's definitely one of my more iconic ones. That's one of my favorite mons for sure. Top 5, probably top 5, yeah. But that's what I was saying. Mamoswine would be here as an honorable mention, but I had to put Spheal in, and as my ground type, I had to put Stunfisk. Stunfisk is just too nice. But anyway, Spheal is definitely a beast. Anyways, guys, coming into my next mon on the list, we have Celesteela as my steel type. And once again, another Draft League Pokemon I loved using. By the way, Spheal was not a Draft League Pokemon. Just loved using it. But Celesteela Draft League wise, I think it is one of the nastiest things in Draft League personally. I'm currently only used it in 1 league and I'm 0-1 right now. But that's currently my fault. Otherwise, this thing could have been able to pick up a nice sweep for me. And I just think it's one of the best Pokemon. Like, it's got one of the best defensive typings in my opinion. Only weak to fire and electric. And in Draft League, you can patch it up very nicely with a good ground type or a good water type. So, Celesteela gets, obviously, moves like Leech Seed plus Protect, which makes it nasty. And it can be offensive, defensive so easily. Really nice coverage. And then plus Autotomize, so I mean, that's disgusting. And you can Baton Path like Swords Dance, Nasty Plots into it so easily because it's so bulky. And yeah, basically it's just a monster in competitive scenes. So Celesteela is there for that reason, and I love it. I love its design. Don't really have a great nickname for it. I call it Mount Everest at the moment, but coming to my favorite dragon guys, this was pretty easy for me. I love dragon types. I love a lot of dragon types, but Zygarde just topples them all. Like this thing, I love the design. The freaking serpent, man. It has a nickname called Forgotten. I call that Forgotten in all my draft leagues. Personally, I think it is probably my best mon I've ever used in draft league. My first draft league I ever drafted, I actually got Zygarde. So, and it picked up like, I think the draft league ended up cutting short. We played like 6 weeks. It picked up 15 kills. So this thing was a monster for me. It's one of my favorite things used in draft league for sure. And I actually, I'll keep that a surprise for now. But something about Zygarde will be coming shortly to the to the PSA. You guys should find out shortly if you watch the PSA. Anyways, Zygarde's there for that reason. Can set up sweep just like Celesteela. Even it's probably better at it. Honestly, gets 1,000 arrows. That's all you really need to bring. That's all you really need to bring is a stab because it hits flying types like you guys know. So that's insane there. And that is the reason Zygarde is there. Not really any nostalgic from these last few mods, but just from their competitive presence, and just the their designs are honestly sick. So yeah, get into it. I could not leave Tapu Koko off. I had to throw Ampharos on as my favorite electric because this is my favorite mon, and then Tapu Koko had to come in as my favorite because Tapu Koko is a close second. I wouldn't say close, but it is my second favorite electric type, as well as Stunfisk. But Tapu Koko is nasty, dude. 130 base speed, obviously competitive. I've used this thing. I have this thing in one of my leagues. I ended up picking it 4th in my draft league, so I think it was worth it. I was probably getting a little backlash for picking it that early, but I think it is definitely worth it. That speed tier, being able to run physical or special with both momentum, being U-turn and Volt Switch is just disgusting. And it can hit so hard in its own terrain, which is nice that way. So Tapu Koko there is just nice that way, and I like it a lot. Like I said, really nice and competitive in draft league. So that being said, that is my favorite type, or my favorite Pokemon from each type, guys. If you guys agree with any of these, go ahead and let me know, and let me know your favorite types from each type, or let me know your favorite Pokemon from each type down below in the comments down below, or just send me your list. You know, I'll be in the Discord, so I'll link the Discord to the video as well. So if you guys enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate it, guys, and peace out.